Carl Brown here with the International Press Review. Good to have you with us, Carl. The American paper's really concerned about this possible shutdown, obviously, of the American government, aren't they?
Yes, indeed. And this should be a time when it's just a budget bill, time when the next year's budget comes in, and it normally tends to just tick things over. But this time, of course, the Republicans are attaching a number of amendments, or they're trying to anyway. And so the House of Representatives, they have, for example, tried to attach an amendment that would delay the signature piece of legislation, Obamacare, from even taking effect for another year. Now, that is likely, a lot of pundits are saying, to just be dead on arrival in the Senate, and that would be on Monday, that would be tomorrow. And just on the eve of, the actual health care bill going into effect, where, uninsured Americans would finally be covered. So I'm not sure, there we have it, the cartoon showing the kind of gridlock that Washington has become infamous for. And but the tenor of the newspapers that I've been reading this morning is even, I would say, more strident, because they're talking not so much of gridlock as much as about a kind of brinksmanship by the Republicans.
Okay, and the House of Representatives, knowing a bill delaying President Obama's signature legislation, unlikely to pass in the Democrat-controlled Senate when it reconvenes later.
That's right. So they're going to reconvene. It'll be a number of hours before the deadline hits, where there'll be a new fiscal year beginning. And as a result, there'll be a number of maneuvers that either side can take. And so here we have in the New York Times, we've got Paul Krugman, who's saying, this is, these are rebels without a clue, and, the Republicans are to be blamed because they're not only going into this budget situation creating, brinksmanship where they're forcing the government to try to relinquish its piece of signature legislation, but they're also preparing the ground for, the debt ceiling to be in jeopardy too. And so what he's saying is that this could have a number of ramifications, could push the U.S. economy back into recession. It might mean missed payments on debt, and as a result, that will, the world's only safe asset, American debt, it could prove to be, unsafe after all, and that will send shockwaves throughout the world economy.
Well, let's move on to some other news now, shall we? Legislators in Greece's neo-Nazi party, the Golden Dawn, were arrested over the past few days for being members of an illegal organisation, among other charges. It all comes a week and a half after the killing of the anti-fascist singer, allegedly by a supporter of the party there. The government crackdown on the anti-immigrant party seems to mark a real turnaround, doesn't it, in Greek politics?
Yes, indeed, because there were weeks, if not months, that had passed while a number of allegations had surfaced surrounding Golden Dawn, attacks on immigrants, a number of allegations, and yet nothing major had been done. And now it seems over the past few days, the weekend in particular, a number of additional arrests now, particularly of legislators. And so what's the signal being sent is that the government is perhaps belatedly realizing that the Golden Dawn does pose a bigger danger than they had considered prior to. And now what's happening is the pundits are saying, well, okay, are they going about this the right way? Because the Independent, for example, says, are we dealing with the root causes of the malaise in Greek society that actually led to the popularity of Golden Dawn. Now, for example, they won 7% of the vote last year. These are considered thugs by some, but of course they've managed to gain a lot of popularity. So the Independent is saying, by arresting them, are we not perhaps sweeping them under the carpet?
You've also seen a piece in The Telegraph that go even further, comparing today's Greece to Weimar Germany.
Yes. Now, this is an interesting comparison because the Telegraph too says that they're in danger of just sweeping something under the carpet, and he does draw in the Telegraph this interesting historical parallel, saying that 1920s Germany, where the Nazis were in the ascendant, they showed a lot of the similar characteristics, targeting minorities, increasing violence, and they weren't sufficiently clamped down upon. So there's a mixed message. On the one hand, they don't want to kind of miss the root causes and just sweep it under the carpet by arresting a few people, but on the other, they don't want to give parties like the Golden Dawn a free rein either.
Carl, thanks very much. That's Carl Brown with the International Papers here on France 24. Stay with us. So coming up then is Guinea votes in elections. Our team has been to the mining town in Guinea, which used to be the jewel in the crown of the country's mining operations. But we'll be reporting on how the mine's closure in an industrial dispute has paralysed the town. That's all coming up after the break, so don't go away.